Why does she eat so much? Does she even still have stomachs and stuff? I don't know why it says stomachs plural.
Ooh, bacon.
Greetings, my tasty morsels. It's Reverse BLT here. Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday morning, which means it is time to get into another chapter of the book of Boba Fett. This one is chapter 4. I don't yet know what its subtitle is, but the description is a little odd. It says Boba Fett partners with Fennec Shand. And I'm like, so is this going to be a flashback to a different part? Because he's already partnered with Fennec Shand. So I guess we're going to see in this show how that partnership forms. That's the only thing I can think of.
Flashback!
Last week, we got in the present day his acquisition of a very colorful little bike gang to help basically grow his forces. And he released the Wookiee assassin. So was it Black Kirstand or something like that? Who I'm pretty sure is going to join the team. He just has those vibes, and from what I understand, he partnered with Boba Fett quite a lot in the comic book. So I guess we're going to be seeing the giant Wookiee again at some point. And he got himself a Rancor. That's pretty cool. We got to learn a little bit more about Rancors, and I thought that was actually quite a touching little moment with him sort of bonding with the Rancor. In the past, we got what I consider just the inevitable outcome, which might explain why I didn't have quite as an emotional response to it as I would expect, considering, as you guys know, who are familiar with the channel, I can get quite emotional at things. But I think I was expecting it, you know? And when you're just really sure that certain characters are going to die, I guess it lessens the impact a little bit. Plus, I really do think that we didn't connect with the Sand People quite as much as was really necessary in terms of direct personal connection. Like, sort of as a culture, I think we definitely did connect with them. And I do think I connected with them a bit through Boba Fett's connection with them. But I think we needed something more. We needed, like, actual individual characters who we could feel deeply connected to make their loss hurt. So I think the show's doing a good job overall, but that is definitely one area where I think it just didn't quite work. And I'm not really sure what I would have done differently to achieve that, considering the fact that we can't show their faces and they don't speak English, you know, so, or any other human language. So we, you know, maybe if we'd had more subtitling of what they were actually saying, that would have helped a bit. And maybe even had the kid that was tagging along with him be more of a constant thing, because yeah, it happened every now and then, but if he had just been at his side constantly, or they, I should say, because I have no idea whether it was a boy or a girl, or if Sand People even have gender binaries or what. So but that would have helped also, just something to ground it more in what we understand as emotion as human beings. Anywho, so really all I got to say about last week, the slow bike chase, speeder bike chase, was, I think, down to logistics of planning. It was just probably really difficult to get all those moving pieces going without it being a little janky. And it was a little janky. It's okay. I laughed at it and made fun of it, but you know, I don't really think it ruined the show. As some people have said, for them it ruined it. I wouldn't go that far. It wasn't that horrendous. I've definitely seen worse CGI work and stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's see what Chapter 4 has in store for us and understand this subtitle. I still feel like this was a setup. I don't know why. That was an impressive display of how powerful Wookiees are, though. Yeah, they're really driving home with this recap that he's going to end up joining the team.
Take it from an ex-bounty hunter.
Which we decided years ago means junkyard. My friends and I basically decided that the Wookiee language only has one word in it, and it's junkyard. and the nuances of how it's said basically cover everything. It comes from us being goofy when we were watching Empire Strikes Back, and they asked where Chewie found C-3PO, and he's like, oh, it's like junkyard. I was like, oh my god, they only have one word. What can I say? I'm weird and my friends are weird. And I went through the desert on a bantha with no name.
Stop it. Get some help.
Seems like it would take forever to get literally anywhere on a bantha. Wipe them out. All of them.
Here you go. Enjoy.
Bantha are carnivorous. Learned something new today. Seriously, what is the speed of a freaking bantha? It's like 1 mile an hour. We are literally 5 times faster than that. Walking, I mean. Someone threw out a perfectly good lady. What the heck? Oh, the doctor's gonna be in his? OG Doctor Who joke. Ask your parents. Nah, not really. It's part of the modern era. I don't think he was referred to as the Gathering Storm in the old ones. But I could be wrong, though. Oh, that's another thing. For people who said that the modder types look like, oh, they don't fit in on Tatooine, you're right. But that's okay, because that's how those types of big counterculture revolutions happen. They basically look as opposite of the traditional look as possible. It's just part of how they do it. So it makes perfect sense to me that the aesthetic of these young punks is entirely different from what we would expect normally on Tatooine. And if these guys help him out, it actually helps to explain why on earth he would be willing to be so lenient on the crew. I mean, because he already had good dealings with similar people.
Aren't you a little old to be here?
This woman is about to die.
Well, you should have started with that.
I don't know who this is, but so far his acting is a little subpar. Wonder if this is like a celebrity musician or something who's basically doing a cameo. Maybe I'm too old to recognize him. Oh dear. Talk about being more machine now than man. Why does she eat so much? Does she even still have stomachs and stuff? I don't know why I said stomachs plural. I'm assuming she's a human, so she would only have had one. Transhumanism! I can hear all the loonies on the really, really far right yelling, "This is the future, the liberals what?" Huh, okay. So that's how the heck those things work. What for? I mean, where's it gonna go? Honestly, I have so many questions.
What did you do to me?
Brought you to a mud parlor on the outskirts of Mos Eisley.
And, you know, just major surgery without your
Yes,
consent.
I do under the circumstances. Take the black melon. It will help you recover. It takes some getting used to. Time you start to crave it.
Wait, is this stuff kind of like a drug?
You are Master Assassin Fennec Shand.
Who are you?
I am Boba Fett.
No, I didn't recognize you without the mask.
I was rescued by the Sand People. They took me in, treated me as one of their own.
After beating you up and making you a slave, but I guess we can skip over that part.
Instead, I got them massacred by Nectar speedbikers.
I always love things that are supposed to be really surreptitious, that are covered in bright LEDs and stuff. Like, how do you not notice this thing? Also, there's a weird lack of surveillance cameras in the Star Wars universe.
It's time to say farewell, my friend. You served me well.
But who will feed me now?
Now go. Find other Banthas. Make baby Banthas. Go.
The circle of life.
Free to roam the Dune Sea.
Just gonna fetch and bring it back.
Can you wait until we get your ship back before you do that?
Whether I get it or I die.
Looking at about 40 to 50.
There are too many guards.
Then we time their patrol and go in quiet.
I assume that was more for the audience's benefit than for Boba Fett's benefit, as he is an experienced bounty hunter. See, this is why you have surveillance cameras. Hey guys, if you ever decide to become a crime lord on a planet like Tatooine, make sure you install security cameras, okay? Man, the casual cruelty of the Star Wars universe never fails to impress me. Brutal. That's clever, actually. We basically get like hardcore,
No
brutal,
one sounded the alarm.
like
Let's get to the hangar.
action movie stuff, but done with droids, so there's no blood and everything. That's pretty clever. Also, set pieces like this remind me that at its core, Star Wars is meant for kids. Even though we adults enjoy it, it's very much meant for kids. Ratcatcher? It's basically a robot cat that can be on 2 or 4 legs as needed.
You know who I am? I am Boba Fett.
Deactivated itself?
Bugger. Good work.
Not bad yourself.
Okay. You can admire each other's work later. You guys just run in and fire at random shit? What the heck? Okay, that was just poorly framed, so I couldn't see the fact that they were still in their eyesight. Do you have any grenades? That works too, for a droid. I tell you, man, the droids need to stage a rebellion.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Hey, that was pretty cool. Okay. See what I mean about how dangerous doors are in the Star Wars universe?
Next time.
Granted, I mentioned that in The Mandalorian, not this one, but still. They just like...
Ship.
She's in good shape.
Where are you headed?
I have a few scores to settle.
I'll go for the ride.
But why? I guess we'll get more insight into her motivations as time goes on. Hey guys! You guys might want to look behind you. That was great. Just literally just coming up over the horizon. And I hope those guys really did do it, because otherwise, what a rotten thing to have happen to you, huh? You just get wiped out by an angry ex-bounty hunter for shit you didn't even do. Was it good for you? Have a cigarette after? This is one of the weirdest ship designs. I just thought it was bizarre how it like how it lands back, like basically on its back. Yeah, what's going on there? What's that? What is that deal with that hole?
The Sarlacc pit.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was trapped all those years ago.
You're gonna kill the
That's where I
Sarlacc?
find my armor.
All right, this whole sequence is being shot really well. I like this. Don't you have scanners on this thing? What do you even need to see for? Maybe not the best decision you've ever made, Boba. Oh, I remember those things. I always loved the noise they made.
Fire in the hole.
What was that thing's normal survival strategy? I always wonder how a lot of creatures in the Star Wars universe actually survive. Like, what did they... Is it literally just sits there and random stuff like falls in on this gigantic sprawling desert expanse? I can see the edge of the
Are you serious about forming your
what do
own
they call them,
house?
digital mat or whatever that they use
Many
now.
times have you been hired to do a job that was avoidable?
Living with the Tuscans has made you soft.
It's made me strong. You can only get so far without a tribe.
All right. Well, we needed that, definitely. It's explaining how his personality shifted so much. I mean, yeah, you always want to show, not tell, for the most part, but sometimes you do need to take a moment and do a little telling, too.
No sign of the mayor.
Speaking of the mayor,
Quickly.
War could break out any day.
Power.
did Favreau and Rodriguez really think they were going to sneak the fact that they named him Mayor McCheese, basically, past us? I've been thinking about that for a while. I'm like, surely someone's going to mention this. No one did, though, so I'm going to mention it. This guy's name is Mayor McCheese. And we also have references to Klaatu Verata Necto, because they saw one of the groups that Bib Fortuna apparently was sharing power with was something Fortuna. I mean, not Fortuna, something Klaatu. Klaatu something. And the speeder bike gang that Boba Fett took out was the Nikto Raiders. So all we're missing is Verata. Are you all bitter about being... Oh, that's right. I forgot a little bit of my history of Star Wars. Trandoshans and Wookiees have serious beef between them. Hashtag not all Trandoshans, right? Junkyard! Really? You hit him with a bottle? Really? He might not even have ever noticed you, buddy.
I think you've made your point.
Who is this actress? She's really pretty.
I remember your years in the pit. You are a champion. You are above such pettiness. Now, you have run up quite a bar tab, Santos, so let's say you release this customer, and in return, I will wipe your debt off the books.
She is very savvy, which raises her up even higher in my list of suspects of who's really bad. I mean, hey, well, you didn't kill him. We all know that that basically is nothing more than a flesh wound in the Star Wars universe. Sup.
Hit it, Max.
I imagine there's a lot of personal injury lawyers in Star Wars. Did a Wookiee tear off your arm randomly in a bar?
Looks like you could use a job.
For too long, our houses have been
Places on the
fighting.
throne. I have no designs on any of your territories.
I asked for no tribute or quarter, and I expect to give none either.
Even's doing a little of the
Here to make a
Corleone thing.
proposal that's mutually beneficial.
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
I say just kill them now, honestly.
He's a little hungry.
Interesting way to make a point.
Why should we spill the blood of our ranks for a feud waged between you and the Pikes?
Yes. Then I will fight these battles alone.
And then turn my eye to you.
I will vanquish these interlopers who threaten our planet. All I ask in return is that you remain neutral if the Pike Syndicate approaches you to betray me.
So they're agreeing to just basically do nothing for either side. Yeah, these guys, if I were Boba Fett, after I deal with the Pike side, I'm coming for them. Choosing not to stand with me is the same as choosing to stand against me, as far as I'm concerned.
They may be stubborn. They are not foolish enough to see that the Pikes would eventually take over the whole planet.
That sentence
By the
didn't work.
way, we must prepare for war.
Thought you were already doing that.
How much treasure do we have in reserve?
I have plenty of credits. What I'm short on is muscle.
Credits can buy muscle.
Yeah.
If you know where to look.
Money can be exchanged for goods and or services. Well, so basically we're all caught up now. I don't really see us having to, oh wait, no. We're probably going to spend a little more time in the past because we're probably going to cover how he gets his armor back. I thought that there was something about that in The Mandalorian. I haven't gotten that far in that series yet, but I do think I remember someone saying something about a scene where he meets the Mandalorian and gets his armor back or something. So I'm guessing that's when it happened. But these guys, if they're smart, will not just assume that everyone's watching this has seen The Mandalorian, so we'll probably have a scene in this as well that covers him getting his armor back. Or making new armor. I don't really know what happened there. Either way, though, we should have one little bit of business to cover still in the past. And maybe even to deepen a little bit the enmity between him and the Pikes, because I still think the Pikes are who really killed the Sand People. I could be wrong. Could have actually been exactly who was blamed for it, the Speeder Bike Gang. So yeah, I mean, again, you know, an episode that felt slow in places. I think it was a little better paced than the previous episode, but you know, delivering the exposition and backstory is always going to slow things down a little. I don't mind it personally. I think it's really neat to see how things got from one place to another. And it was good to see, you know, the beginning of the relationship between Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. I guess I don't quite feel her motivation yet for joining him. She doesn't feel like the kind of character who's just going to be like, well, you saved my life, so I'm going to be loyal to you. And the things she was saying also didn't really, you know, go with that idea. So far, it almost seems like she's there just to sort of see what will happen. Well, at least in the past scenes. Like the present scenes, she seems very loyal to him. I just don't think we've quite bridged the gap yet to explain where that loyalty comes from. Is she dedicated to his vision? Is she dedicated to him as, you know, personally? I can't tell yet. My major nitpick with the episode was that Boba Fett seemed to make a lot of kind of rookie mistakes, and his plan with the Sarlacc bordered on stupid, to be perfectly honest. Especially if he knew he had the sonic charges and everything. Why not just drop those in from the get-go? You know, there's no reason to assume the Sarlacc was dead or anything. You know, I would have just gone ahead and tried to kill it, and then if you're going to go ahead and figure out if your armor's in there, do it after it's dead. Do it in a corpse, not in a living critter that could easily consume your ship, which almost happened there. That bugged me a bit. But other than that, I like the episode, and I'm curious to see how we're going to resolve the plots moving into the end game of the season now. It was cool to see Black Kirsantan join the team. Saw that coming obviously from a mile away. There's no way you're going to leave that character just out doing his own thing. And of course, I'm curious to see how things will move forward with the other, I guess we're gonna call them crime bosses. Like I said in the episode, if Boba Fett is anything like me, well, I can't really say I'm not a crime boss, but like the way I was thinking in that situation was that they basically declared themselves in a way to be sort of soft enemies, you know, the worst kind of fair weather friends. And he can't trust them. If they're not willing to actually help him, then they're going to betray him at the earliest possible opportunity as well. And he is more powerful if he consolidates holdings rather than sharing power with a bunch of other people with their own agendas. So after he deals with the Pikes, it would be very smart for him to take those guys out and consolidate his territory, consolidate their territories into his. That's just the way to do it. I don't know what's going to happen though. Maybe Fennec is right that his time with the Sand People has made him soft. I agree with what he was trying to say though, that it made him strong and that it gave him a different perspective on how to make it in life. Like that you don't have to do everything alone, that you're actually stronger in a group. That much is absolutely true. I just think that he needs to incorporate it in a way that allows him to be as ruthless as his position that he's decided to take on will require of him. I do like that we got a little more explanation from his perspective as to why on earth he would even want to do this, because that didn't make a lot of sense to most of the fandom, I think. And it was good that we finally got, you know, look at his motivations for wanting to sort of settle down into this kind of a role. I like what some folks have been thinking about, that part of it is also his feeling of obligation to the Tuskens, that as you know, if he basically brings stability to the entire planet, then he might be able to improve the livelihoods of the Tusken people as a whole, and that might be part of why he's doing this too. But if so, we are going to need at least some scenes really explaining that, so that we can understand it as an audience instead of just be, you know, speculating about it. Anywho, like I said, on balance, I definitely did enjoy this episode, and I'm looking forward to where it's going from here. Let me know what you guys thought about it below, and you know, what you think, how you thought the motivations came across, especially with Fennec. Do you feel like we have a good enough sense as to why she would be with him at this point, or do you think we're missing a little something there? Anyway, guys, as always, do your best to be safe and stay well, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
Here you go.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no. It's bacon!